Welcome to the Create More Intimacy podcast. I'm Elisa Stoddard, and I help men stop chasing sex and start building real connection so they finally feel close, connected, and wanted again. Have you ever smiled your way through Father's Day while quietly feeling disappointed? Maybe the gift missed the mark, or the day just kind of happened around you but didn't really include you? You didn't say anything, of course. You didn't want to seem ungrateful. But still, part of you wonders, why does this never feel quite right? If that sounds familiar, this episode's for you. Today, we're talking about something really simple but powerful, asking for what you want. Not in a demanding way, not in a make it all about me kind of way, but in a clear, grounded, confident way. And if that feels hard or unfamiliar, I promise you are not the only one. But once you learn how to do it, it can change everything. Let's get into it. Father's Day's coming up, and I've been thinking a lot about what it means to actually feel celebrated. And I don't mean just getting a card or someone throwing something together like a last minute meal or lunch. But what I do mean is really feeling seen and appreciated, like the people you love the most, that they actually know you. Because here's the thing that most people won't say out loud. We all want to feel valued, but many of us don't say what we actually want. And that becomes the problem. That's where we start feeling resentment. We hope someone just knows, that they'll pick up on the hints, that they'll plan the perfect day somehow, even though we've never defined what the perfect day is, or that they'll give the gift that's just right. And I get why we do that. You don't want to come across as difficult or ungrateful. And honestly, sometimes you're so busy you don't think about it until you realize it's Father's Day weekend and it's upon us. And then you tell yourself, it's just fine, it's just a day. But here's what I see happen again and again. This kind of dismissal creates the larger sense of not being seen. Here's what I see happen again and again. You don't ask. And you wind up going through the motions, and you're smiling at dinner, but inside you feel disappointed. And maybe you were handed a gift that you don't really like, but you say thank you anyway. And later, you're left wondering why you feel so flat, maybe even a little bit invisible. It's not because you don't care, but it's because something inside of you does care. And you didn't give that little part of you a voice. I'm going to share a personal example. I am super picky about gifts. I know that about myself. And for a long time, my husband would give me flowers, and over again, I was bugged about it. I mean, flowers are sweet, right? But I wasn't happy about it. And I want to be clear. My husband is one of the most thoughtful, tuned in gift givers that I know. He listens and he pays attention and he comes up with great ideas. But I found myself feeling bugged, and I finally had to tell him, hey, like, flowers are beautiful and I appreciate the gesture, but if we're going to spend money on stuff like that, I'd really rather it be on something that I really want, something that I have wanted but wouldn't buy for myself, or something that creates a memory and brings me joy. And I'll be honest, before I told him, I wrestled with it because it feels weird to say those kinds of messages. I didn't want to be difficult, and I wanted to acknowledge that he was trying, and I wanted to be grateful. But I realized I was being grateful and disappointed at the same time. And that isn't his fault. It was mine for staying quiet. And here's the wild part. Once I finally said something, I felt a lot closer to him. Partly because I was being honest, partly because I wasn't resenting the gift, even though I wanted to appreciate it. And really, he got to know me. That was a really unintended outcome. So now when I get a gift, it's something that feels personal and thoughtful and spot on a lot of the time. Not always, but a lot of the time. That's what asking for what you really want does. It's totally not about controlling the outcome or being difficult. It's really about creating connection, and it's about letting people that you love you well. Let me ask you this. What would actually make you feel appreciated this Father's Day? Or birthday, insert any holiday where you are being celebrated. Not what you should want, not what you've settled for in the past, but what would make you feel good. If you're like me, maybe it's time with your kids. Maybe it's an afternoon with no obligation. I don't know, maybe it's steak, bourbon, and a nap. Maybe it's simply hearing from your family something like, hey, I see you and I appreciate you. Whatever it is, don't wait for someone to guess. They cannot read your mind. You have to say it out loud. Say what you want and say it out loud. And if you're wondering what that even sounds like how would you even start? Here's a couple of suggestions of things that you could say or practice saying or put into your own words. First, hey, I've been thinking about Father's Day, and here's what would make me feel really good this year. Second, I'd just love to spend a few hours with the kids doing something low-key. That would mean a lot to me. Or third, this year I'd rather skip the gifts and just plan a dinner out together. That feels more meaningful to me. Or make something up along those lines. You don't have to make it awkward. You don't have to over-explain. Just be clear. You're allowed to say what matters to you. And listen, I know it can feel uncomfortable at first. You don't do this regularly, so without practice, of course it's going to feel weird. If you are someone who generally goes with the flow, man, this might be especially hard. And you might be wondering in the back of your mind, am I just being selfish by speaking up? Or am I being demanding? Or am I going to get the wrath of my wife? But let me flip this around. Asking for what you want is actually one of the most intimate and generous things that you can do. It says, I know myself. It says, I trust myself to be honest. It says, I want you to know me better. And that's not selfish. That's leadership. It shows your family what healthy communication looks like. And it gives them a chance to really connect with you in a way that means something to you and gives you the kind of day that really feels good. So here's my challenge to you this week. Don't brush this off. Don't stay silent. Think about what would make you feel appreciated and ask for it. You can make this weekend meaningful, and you can feel seen. You can show your family what it looks like to speak up with confidence and kindness. And who knows, maybe you'll start a new pattern, not just for Father's Day, but for life. And that would be a great result. Happy Father's Day. Talk to you next time. Thanks for being here. If something in this episode hit home, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps more men find the support they need. And if you are ready to get help or take the next step, you'll find the link to book a free call in the show notes. I'll see you next time.